How's it going, everyone? This is not a drill. Today, I'm literally going to show you how to draw Shrek, at least Shrek's face. We did joke about this in the Discord, but I'm serious. I want to do this. This is going to be perfect for drawing your own memes. Shrek is like a perennial meme. He's never irrelevant. So if you want to draw your own memes instead of copy and pasting Shrek images or however you want to do it, this tutorial is going to show you the way to draw the very famous, very memey ogre. And by the way, thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. That is just fantastic. Thank you so much for all the support. Now, while this video is a bit light-hearted, as a lot of my videos are, this one actually does, as usual, drop some pretty helpful tips along the way. So don't skip through, don't go fast-forwarding to the end to see the finished product, or otherwise you're going to miss some really great tips, so don't be a skipper. If you do enjoy this video, consider liking it and subscribing to the channel for more videos like this one, and also lots of great basics videos on how to draw hands and heads and poses and things like that. But with that, let's go. Well, I hope you didn't think I was kidding when I said I was going to be doing this. Like, of course we're going to do this. Of course we're going to do this. So I'm going to start the way I always do. Let me drag things back into place here. I'm going to start with a big oval for the head, just like this. And then, looks a bit like an egg, right? It's a bit bottom heavy, as you might be able to see. And then I'm going to cut it in half like a Pokeball. So this half is a bit bigger. It's really subtle. It's a really subtle difference. But it's a bit wider, you know, from here to here, than it is from here to here. And that's a very deliberate design choice. I'll go over that. I'll go over that now, as a matter of fact, as I divide this in half. The bottom half of his head is very big. It's a very kind of masculine feature to have a huge jawline like this. And when we cut the head into 4 quarters like this, I like to start from the center, which is where his nose is. His nose is like a soft rectangle. So try and picture it like a box, but it's kind of had the corners cut off, and you end up with this sort of smooth looking shape here. And then we'll add a nostril on either side like this. Just some curves like that. One there, and then a curve around the side of it like that. And you end up with this very kind of human but very wide looking nose shape here. The nostrils don't need to be very big, they're only down here, and these only extend a little bit out further from the central rectangle, so don't go over the top with this. Try and bring it so that you're going no further than halfway down this bit here. If you cut this in half, this width in half here, try not to have this come past that halfway mark. Let me just get rid of all these marks for you so it's all going to look a bit cleaner when I'm done. So then we can move a bit further upwards. Just draw a little kind of hump up here for the top of the nose, the bridge of the nose. A line here and a line here. Some kind of like frown lines there. And then either side of what we just drew, we're going to draw some eyes. You can kind of draw the eyes however you want. You can draw like anime eyes if you want, like this, you know, like if you want to draw anime Shrek, that's up to you. You can draw the eyes however you want. I'm not going to do that in this particular one, even though I think it would be hilarious. I'm just going to draw some lines along the bottom with a slight curve. That's the bottom eyelid. Then I'm going to curve up and over like this. I think this usually results in quite surprised or friendly looking eyes, and I know that Shrek isn't always like that, but that's kind of how I feel like drawing him for this particular piece, just because I think it's aesthetically pretty nice. The eyes are also a little bit bigger than they probably should be, but again, that's the eye style I'm going for in this particular piece. Feel free to draw the eyes a bit smaller than I'm doing them. But for now, this is a quick crash course in how to draw kind of big cartoony eyes. At the end of the day, Shrek is a cartoon. I'm very sorry, Shrek is not actually real. I know, it's disappointing. We all wish he was, but he's not, sadly. Our memes must remain dreams at this time. So a couple of wrinkles underneath the eyes as well. Maybe he's not slept very well, who knows. If you were an ogre and you slept out in the swamps and stuff like that, maybe you wouldn't get too much shut-eye either. Imagine it smells awful around there. So a couple of little angles up over the eyebrows like this. Notice how the eyebrows are a bit thicker on the ends, the outside ends I should say, than they are on the inside. Not a great deal, but subtleties like that go a long way in character design. So I'm actually going to bring the side of his head in a bit like this. Give his cheek more structure by doing so, right? So the head's not just a perfect oval anymore, that was just a guideline. So I've brought these in a bit, right? So just so it's a bit more clear, I can actually erase this just to show you what I've done here. So just kind of brought it in a bit. and this pronounces his cheeks more. I didn't actually make the cheeks bigger, did I? I actually just brought this in, and it made the cheeks bigger, so that's a good thing. That's a good tip for making things appear larger or more pronounced, is to make the things around them a bit smaller, so that they appear bigger, if that makes any sense. I'm just doing a bit of tidying up now. So the next thing to do is the ears. The ears are weird little kind of tubes. I don't know how else to really describe them. I haven't seen anything quite like this when it comes to ears, but again, that kind of comes to that's something to do with Shrek's unique design, isn't it? So again, just drawing these little tubes, and these lines here, they're like little soft chevrons. That's actually like an ear opening. If I shade this to kind of show you, you don't have to do this, I'm just doing this. So that's a hole, right? If you remember from the beginning of the first film and he pulls the earwax out, yeah, that's completely grim, but that's what we've kind of just drawn. We've just drawn that in. So all it is a simple kind of balloon shape that comes out. Not even a balloon, it's like a deflated balloon before you blow them up, and then like a hole that kind of goes in, and that's about it for that. Top half of the head is done. Bottom half is simpler, but I'd say more challenging. So to help us out, you'll see what I mean in a minute. So we'll bring out some cheek, I guess, cheek folds, cheek wrinkles here, just to show how wide we want him to be smiling. I'm going for a big grin here. This expression that I'm drawing is based on the really, really common promotional artwork for Shrek. So right now, he looks okay. You could just draw the fold of a bottom lip here, and there we go. He's got his mouth closed. Maybe his chin's a little bit too big like this, but I'm not going to leave it like that. I'm going to go for the big open mouth look. We want to show off Shrek's pearly whites. And let me tell you something. I don't know why Shrek has pearly whites. He's an ogre. He literally eats mud and eyeballs and insects and all kinds of gross things. It shows you at the start of the film. Why are his teeth white and perfect? I know he brushes his teeth, but he brushes it with mud. Where's that coming from? Where's that dentistry coming from? Anyway, so just a couple of small teeth at the bottom here as well. You don't have to draw that, actually. It might not be particularly visible from this angle, but I'm going to draw them in anyway, just because to me it looks right. But in your drawing, you might decide not to do that. It's your drawing, after all. So a couple of humps here for the tongue. Make it as symmetrical as you can. Maybe a line down the middle, just there, just to show that that is a tongue and not like a slug sat in his mouth or something like that. It is Shrek we're talking about here, though. A small line there for the chin. And we'll draw his Philtrum here as well. This is called a Philtrum. It's like a dip right below your nose, bridging it to the top lip. Everyone has one. And yeah, that's his. His is quite pronounced because he has quite a big mouth. So now we've got the head done. So if you only want to draw the head, you could really stop here. If you want to go whole hog and draw the rest of it, here is his neck. Now notice his neck is actually wider than his head. It actually comes out a bit. And that is a very common design thing for very, very large, very brutish, very strong characters, is they have very broad necks. Kind of making them look like, you know, American football players or rugby players or something like that. They have this brutish width to their neck, and that's a really, really good tip for you. If you want to draw a character who's very, very hulky, very large, very strong, a neck that is as wide, if not wider, at the bottom than their head, that's a really, really good tip for you in expressing how powerful that character is, physically powerful at least. And there we go, just drawn the top of his, is it a cardigan? Waistcoat? Something like that, I don't even know what he would call it. And if I get rid of some of the guidelines here, it'll make a bit more sense. But to be honest, that is more or less it. I'm just tidying up at this point. So if you want to go ahead and finish your drawing off, grab a pen or something like that, or if you're working digitally like me, you might want to, you know, hide the layer a little bit, drop the opacity and go over it with a better brush. But otherwise, at this point, we're done. So I'm going to show you the finished product myself in just a moment. And there he is. With your very own Shrek drawing, I'm sure you can make your friends green with envy. Sorry, I couldn't resist dropping in a pun there. With that, we're going to have a look at some of the art that people have been producing in the Discord. Let's go and have a look now. 25 inches has gone for something very interesting here with the angle and the perspective. We've got an environment behind the character. Really kind of starts telling a story. I like the sword. It's very simple but effective, and it's pointing towards whatever the character is looking at, which implies it's a threat. So this is looking really, really cool. It does tell a story. I really like this. Avery has done some really hard work on their expressions and eyes, mouths, all that good stuff, poses as well. I love how they've used my video to really work at these and draw a fantastic, very varied array of expressions. This is really good iterative work. Becca has given us this lovely pose, very muted colours on this one. It's very artistic indeed. I love the choices of clothes and the very kind of melancholy pose that they've gone for here as well. This is just lovely. Gamerlord has absolutely killed it with this pose, and great finishing with the digital colouring on this as well. Also great line work. Altogether, this is just a fantastic drawing. It's only missing a little bit more shading, and otherwise this is perfectly polished. Genesis has given us this green and black, very simple use of colours here, but it's a face with what appears to be a gas mask, and I've got to say that looks very intimidating. This is some really nice stuff. You'd see this on like a brick wall or something like that. It looks fantastic. Indian Tempest Gamer has been hard at work as well, drawing faces, going at different angles. Absolutely love the work on this one. Even added some hair in as well, because why not? Love the experimentation. Great stuff. John's hat. Wait, hats can draw? Is that a thing now? Anyway, John's hat has drawn this, and it's a great pose. I assume it's something out of The Last of Us Part 2, which I haven't played yet, but I think this is a fantastic sketch. Great work on the pose. It's very hard to get arms raised up like that, so great work. Selim James has done this very serene, very cute little drawing here. I love this. This is clearly the very famous anime style. Really got it down. I mean, are you practicing this a lot? Because it really looks like you are. This is wonderful. We've got an amazing assortment of art from Slush the Husky here. They've done a drawing of a character called Snowflake. They've also done some really cool cross-hatching on this really realistic looking Vans style slip-on shoe here, and a portrait of their dog. Absolutely killing it. This is looking fantastic, Slush. Speedwagon made a grunt from Halo out of some modelling clay, and I've got to say, not only do we appreciate drawing over here at Draw Cartoons, definitely got a bit of an appreciation for 3D stuff as well, physical or digital. So I've got to say, I really like the look of this straight away. Great colours on this. The one and only is back again with an illustration of their avatar from Roblox, looking absolutely fantastic. Look at the 3D shapes on this one. And they attempted a half moon with a bit of a sunset going above it as well. I'm loving the way the colours fade on this. This is looking really good, honestly. Woodgoat has brought us this wonderful drawing of the Jetsons. The entire family is there. I love the dedication to drawing them all together. This is really nice stuff. This is exactly the kind of thing that I love to see, especially this is, you know, Draw Cartoons, so this fits the bill wonderfully. Great shading on the robot as well. And that's it for now. I can't wait to see what else you guys produce. The level of improvement is just, it's insane. Week by week we get some really incredible stuff, and the practice people are putting in just really impresses me. Great work to everybody. I'll be back soon with another video tutorial, but for now guys, stay safe and see you next time.